All right, so first thing to note about free play is we are able to use any character. So we're going to use that to our advantage. Let's just start out. First level, there's 20 levels, and time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty. Yeah, so in this game there are four episodes, and each episode is based off of the first four Disney movies, and each movie has five levels. So this is the first one, Port Royale. So it starts out pretty simple. We're doing a lot of 1v2C as we saw in the first Lego Star Wars game, or TCS. And first we gotta we gotta kill Jack. Well, it's not really that movie. There it goes. One common strategy in this game is CPSs, or camera pan skip. So
The
most of the
time
time
when
when
Flaming Laser is going to be dropping out as second player, it's to skip a camera pan. So um, basically in this game, when the camera starts shifting, 99% of the time, if you call in a player 2, then it will just gain control right away, typically your lock control. So this saves a lot of time over the course of the run. So as he passes its moment right here, calls in player 2, and then instantly gains control right away.
Yeah, another thing you'll notice is I'm doing a tech called triple jumping, where Davy Jones has a slam animation, and if you swap characters in the middle of the slam, then you can just jump higher than normal. You also saw there, that is a wall climb. So in this game, Guard Dog has a slightly different hitbox, slightly larger. So if I swap when I'm in a wall, it allows me to get another jump off. So I can use that to gain infinite height, as like I can go up walls all the way up to the top, and that is used quite a bit in this category.
Yeah, this is saving so much time to the typical any percent route. Like, this is crazy. And I know the next level that you're going to be playing is that one of the shortest levels in the game?
Yeah, so the next level, this is also a new piece of tech. I'm going to be using an end level trigger to instantly finish the level. So it's an out of bounds object left by the developers of the game, and if I hit it, it just instantly ends the level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wall climb to get out of bounds, and I'm going to try and hit the trigger.
Yeah, and using this wall climb, he's basically switching between a guard dog and Marty. And the guard dog hitbox, it kind of extends into the wall and then allows him to get a jump as well. So that's how he's able to climb those walls. And that's used all over the run. Let's see with this specific positioning.
There we go.
Hey, good job.
Yep, so when I was underwater, I was able to swap characters, and similar to a bunch of other LEGO games, if you're out of bounds and you swap characters, it up-warps you all the way to the top, and water has a similar effect in this game. So I hit the bottom side of that trigger.
And that level would normally take like 3 minutes. Alrighty, so here Jack, as you see, he's trapped in one of the jail cells, but we don't know which, so we got to destroy all the jail cells on the Black Pearl. We've got 2 up here, and then a door is going to open up bottom, and we get into the underside. And now this 1P2C is really crazy. This is one of the hardest 1P2Cs in the game, honestly. Usually, yeah, you got to get like a weird jumper. Marty was just too short, unfortunately, in order to grab the grappling point on the top.
But yeah, you might have seen in the TCS run, the split screen was always a fixed camera, right? So both players have to be on the screen at the same time. This game has a dynamic split screen, so I can be in a completely different place with one player, which makes the 1P2C a little bit more difficult.
It also extends the capabilities that you can do with the 1P2C, because then you can have one person on the completely opposite side of the room and be doing something and not be limited by the scope of the camera. So here we have the last jail cell, and oh my gosh, Jack's going to be inside there, although we don't really see. And normally there would be a cutscene right after that, but we are in free play where all the cutscenes are skipped automatically. This is just an easy triple jump as well to get out of bounds, and then we can go to the very end to hit the trigger. Do we have to kill the monkey here?
Yeah, but you can get up a lot quicker than story. We can do some triple jumps here to get up quick. And then what we're going to do is another wall climb here.
That's so easy.
Yeah. There's a similar strat in story, but it's a lot more random. And then I'm going to swap my player 2 to Marty here, just so I have the right characters entering the next level.
And just like that, we have 3 levels done of this first movie, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah, this next level is a little bit longer. You kind of have to play it basically the same as story because the way it's formatted, it's in kind of a way where you can't really... There's specific objectives that you need to complete in the level in order to finish it, which is I have to build this campfire that's on like the middle of my screen right now. And in order to do that, I have to get 3 wooden logs to build it. And in order to do that, I actually have to go and complete the underside of the map. And you can't really skip too much.
Yeah, the casual layout of this level is actually really interesting because you start off this top area and then you fall down into the downstairs or the basement kind of area, the cellar. And then you traverse there to get to the other end where Laser is right now because he's not supposed to be over here. But fortunately with the triple jump, he's just able to skip all of that. And then on the casual way, you go back down and you traverse the reverse way to get back to the other side in order to light the campfire. Because right now there's no sunlight coming through.
Yeah, so this, where I am right now, is not where you're supposed to be. The triple jump I did to get over the ship allowed me to skip it, so now I'm doing the level backwards.
Yeah, as the sun turns to night, then we can see through the telescope or something like that. I don't know exactly why this is the case, but it seems a little bit reverse of what you would think.
Yeah, so this game has a feature where you just can use the telescopes to look at specific objects. So now I get to watch the captain of the ship just fall over a couple times.
That is Captain James Norrington. What a klutz.
Yeah, so there are a lot of camera pan skips in this level, which is every time you see me drop out, that is likely for a camera pan. This one you can't actually skip because it plays as you enter the room. So if that was possible, it would save a little bit more, but cannot do it.
So we have these 3 turnstiles here. We do 3 times on each one, and that will slowly traverse the sunlight into the other end of the underground area. We have to change its course one more time as well. Oh yeah, it blows up the dynamite on that box in order to do there. And then we have to get one more as well. This is one of my favorite levels in the game. I really like all the 1P2C and the quick time events that happen with the CPSs. And there's, gosh, that was
almost
close.
fell off. Yeah.
And there's a lot of like just 1P2C, and I just really like this level.
Yeah, but now we're moving the elevator up so we can get the last piece. And now we can just build a campfire and the level ends.
Yep, now James Norrington sees the campfire and can come rescue us. And we should be Elizabeth and Jack Sparrow in any percent, but because this is free play, we are actually, what is that, Solomon? Is that his name?
I believe so, yeah. But you can see I'm always trying to switch to Davy Jones and Marty at the end of each level, just so I can keep my character management and I don't have to select it in the menu. And I especially want Marty for this next level because he makes it a lot faster. So Marty has an explosive gun and it is really useful for killing a bunch of enemies at once, which is going to be used extensively in this level.
And this first room is incredibly broken. This is a long section of the room, but it's really easy to get out of bounds in the very first part. And you can just skip all of it by swimming in the water.
You can actually do the skip in story as well with the double jump character, which is pretty cool because I don't think anyone would want to play this super long room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to swim out of bounds and then navigate myself over to the transition.
Yeah, and you want to be kind of in bounds, but kind of out of bounds, because if you are too far out of bounds, then you fall into the void. Kind of saw a little bit there. You fell down, but fortunately we're going through. And this is one of the probably worst rooms in the game, in my opinion.
Oh, I did not hit him. You can get an extra heart off if you hit him with an eyeball or any thrown object.
Yeah, the cycles in this room are kind of bad. And then also these enemies sometimes take a while. You have to kill them in this moonlight here. That's this green area. And they are slow to come back. But we do have Marty, and his explosive bullets one-shot all of these enemies. And you avoid a long, drawn-out sword duel between each one. But the end goal is basically to build up these pillars in order to get to Barbossa in the end, in order to do the final damage.
Luckily, you can still push this with with one player. I fell off with my player 1, but didn't actually lose any time really.
Are you going to go to a double hit here?
Oh,
a
just
little
too
bit
late.
late. Yeah.
I can still get the double hit next cycle, I think.
Yeah, it's when Barbossa's down where you can get these hits off of it. And the more hits you get, the less hearts you have to do at the very end. So it's kind of a micro time save in order to hit him earlier than what you normally do. Also, a little small thing to touch on, he's doing animation cancels. So right after he shoots a fire, he's gonna switch and then switch back to Marty. And this allows him to shoot a lot faster. He can get a lot of shots off quickly by doing this.
Yep, so we're just going to do another CPS so we can hit him early.
Should be coming down on this cycle as well.
Yep. Oh, he pulled out the gun instead. That's fine, it only makes me need to hit him an extra time.
Hopefully they all drop on the right side. Oh, we have a couple on the left. They have to wad through the water, and this takes a while, especially on the left side. See the sunlight or the moonlight in the middle, that's where they want to go.
Should be good. Yep. I thought one of them might have been outside of the light.
Dude, how crazy is that? You build a barrel out of their dead bones, and then you roll it on to get the final pillar up.
Yeah, so in free play, for some reason, there's a camera pen here.
Oh.
And that one is, what's it called? Like instant CPS, so you need to buffer the drop-in, otherwise it won't work.
That's strange. Yeah, that is not in any percent.
So now we're just gonna chase him, and we have the boss fight at the end, where the monkey is gonna stun one of our players. But the monkey's gonna stun one of our players, and he's gonna stop us from attacking. So we have to keep alternating between our players, throw an eyeball to stun him, and then hit him.
Yeah, you're supposed to kind of pick up these coconuts that are on the right. However, with a Rigetti, he has an eyeball, and he throws his eye to whatever enemy.
Okay, so that is the end of episode 1, or movie 1. So now we're gonna go into movie 2. We're just playing the levels in order right now.
Yeah.
I messed up the character management there, so I'm gonna have to fix that here. Ideally, I would have wanted to switch to Davy Jones on P1 at the end. but it's a small time loss. Just have to select in the menu.
Are you able to get out of these? Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
out
so
of
in
these
free
balls.
play, or in story, you're forced to be in this room. You have to be inside these skeleton balls the entire time. But in free play, you're given the freedom to just leave them, and using that, we can just use wall climbs and triple jumps to skip the entire room. This is a pretty long room. Normally, you have to go all the way up in your hamster ball, use some elevators, but we can just skip the entire thing with wall climbs.
Oh my gosh, that saves so much time.
Yeah. And then since we can get out, I can do that instead of doing, I can just push it through the transition and then wall climb over to get into it. And what I'm going to do is this section is supposed to be a like downwards mountain. Oh,
Oh, you saved?
no, I did
Aw.
not.
Oh, look at that
is-
skybox.
Yeah, that is a fall rescue extra, which puts you back to where you, like when you die, puts you back to your safest respawn. Oh, what is happening? But basically, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the mountain without going down the long way. There we go. So now we can just walk to the end of the room without having to do, like, just go all the way down normally. And
Yeah.
then this room, you're supposed to pull a vine to open that gate, but you can just wall climb over it as well. Oh wait.
This is the end here. You just do a triple jump and done with this level.
Yep, this next level takes place in a swamp, and there's actually a really interesting any percent strat in this level that I'm sadly not going to be able to showcase because it is just not faster.
Are you talking about poison skip?
Yep. So in story, what you can do is you can die with one of your players. Oh, that is not good. I needed to.
I hold
D-pad
the
right.
yeah, D-pad right is what I do to always land on there. I think sometimes it depends on where your player 2 is based off of your camera, but we got it.
But yeah, in story, what you would do is you just die in the poison, and then you'd fall on with another player. You'd fall on the dead person's like leftover body, and that just allows you to swim inside of the poisonous water. But instead, what we can do is we can do a bunch of triple jumps. That one is kind of tight. And then there's another tight one at the end of the room.
I kind of like this parkour.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool alternative. Okay, yeah.
Ooh,
So
just
I
that.
barely made the transition there. There's a crocodile boss fight that we will not be playing here. We're just gonna skip it with triple jumps.
Thank goodness nobody likes that croc fight. That's why we sump it in any percent.
And then, so the goal of this room is we have to get the cage monkey and bring it all the way to the end. And after putting it here, we can use these levers to turn it sideways, and then we can start rolling on it. And we just have to bring it all the way over to the end.
Yeah, I believe the end, this character at the end is Black Dahlia, or Dahlia, and she wants a monkey in order to be able to help the team. And this monkey is special because he is invincible because he took one of the gold coins.
Yeah, just a little bit more 1P2C here.
Yeah, and we have another telescope after this, after we build the map. Nice slide.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Go.
So yeah, we have another telescope section where I think this is the Flying Dutchman. Just have to watch it, and we're gonna see it attack the Black Pearl, which leads into the next level where we are aboard the Flying Dutchman. But yeah, that's the end of the level. That's one of the longer ones in free play. There's a lot of stuff that you can't really skip just because you need to open that door at the end, and there's no way to clip through it or anything.
Yeah, one thing you might have noticed is that there's a load in between when you enter and exit a level. On SRC, these loads are all timed out. We have a load remove timer. So there are no hardware differences on the leaderboard.
But yeah, another thing, one of the benefits of free play is you're allowed to use whatever extras you want. And one of those extras is called Fall Rescue. And basically what it does is it puts you, it like launches you to your respawn point. And what I did is I purposefully set my respawn point to be in a position so when I jump off, it just makes me hit the transition. So yeah, I can skip the entire first room by just going, oh, I am on the bottom with both players.
Somehow you got warped down there, I guess.
Uh-oh.
It's a rare keyboard triple jump. Ah, you can just do the ladder jump.
Yeah, ideally you don't want the second player to go down. This next room actually has a really interesting route in free play because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use these wheels on the side to move some floor panels so you can walk across. But there's this free play area and you can enter it and then exit it, and if you're carrying the box with the other player, you'll just keep it and be warped up.
And then we get a little disco. Play the tunes in order to unlock Davy Jones or steal his key, but we don't need his key right now. We're on to the next level.
Yep. The next level actually has another interesting thing about it that's free play only, but it's not because it requires a specific character to do. It's just for some reason there's a trigger in the second room that is only active in free play. Like you would theoretically be able to hit it in story and it wouldn't even be that difficult. It would be very easy, but it's just not active. Okay, what I'm going to do here is triple jump across, and then we have a jack compass. I don't think we explained this before, but jack's compass can be used to locate items, and then they are usually dug up later.
Yeah, that's one of the small collectibles that are required in 100%, and also a little bit in story. But we don't see it very often in this run, in free play run, because a lot of the times they're just skip. But that is one that is necessary in order to come to the next room.
Yeah,
And
I'm just gonna go this way. And I'm just gonna do a jump dive and hit possibly the easiest trigger in the game. Is just right there, and it skips a lot. And for some reason it's free play only.
And this is a crazy camera in this room. I think they were getting a little bit creative by doing this swoosh-de-doosh.
Yep, they like to make it spin for no reason. And we just have to repeat this where we kind of hit him off the wheel and then hit him once and he falls off. We repeat that a couple times.
Man, what are the chances? Jack must be very upset in this room that he gets on a pig and he just manages to get inside the crevices of the wheel,
Yeah,
gets stuck.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah, bad RNG, I suppose.
You could say that. But yeah, this next room, we're about to finish this one. You just have to kill 5 enemies. And normally,
Crash?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That is unfortunate.
Right at the end of the level too.
Yeah. Another thing about this game is it is kind of unstable and it likes to crash when you're entering rooms. I was hoping that it wouldn't happen, but yeah, it did. That's fine, it's only like a couple minute time loss. But now you get to see all of the extras that I was using because I have to re-enable them. There's disguises, fast dig, fast forge, fast build, fall rescue, and invincibility. The only one not fast from those ones is disguises. That is just a funny visual preference.
I was gonna say, yeah, disguise is definitely the most required of all of those extras. It basically just puts a little disguise on every single character. So that's why they have these mustache and glasses.
Yeah, we're just gonna redo that. It was honestly not too much because the next room is quick.
Yeah, they didn't do as much of a job as they did on TCS, the disguises extra. So the vehicles and whatnot, they don't have disguises on them. It's a little bit of an oversight. They should have put a little disguise and make it a little bit silly. Oh, the dog doesn't have a disguise.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh,
I
the
did not
crab
do the
didn't
crab deload. But you can dig it by animation canceling.
Ah.
Yeah, so
so
what I did the first time was I positioned P2 in a way where that crab wouldn't spawn. But it doesn't really save any time in free play. It saves a lot more in story. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this trigger again.
Yeah, first try this time, perhaps.
Oh, this collision is really weird because you can only get a jump off like that corner.
Yeah, even though you can kind of walk on the roof there, it's more of like a, still treated as a slope. It's quite strange.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna do this again and it won't crash this time.
Yeah, and then in the next room we have 5 enemies, and they're normally like kind of easy to kill, each one of them, but the issue is that each one can rebuild the other person. So they disintegrate into Lego pieces, but another person can rebuild it and then he's back to life.
Yeah, the good thing about free play is since we have Marty and his gun, it becomes a lot easier to kill them. Might fall off, okay. Thought it was gonna fall off with Marty. Uh-oh.
Go, 2 more shots here.
No crash.
So these 5 enemies here, they all have names, but I don't know their names. Kind of trying to build it, but with these bullet shots, it really just is so fast. It's one of the fastest rooms, honestly.
Yep, so the next level we have, it's called the Kraken, and we're basically stuck inside of the ship, and we have to make it out and then defeat the Kraken. But we are not gonna do it normally in any way, shape, or form. The only part that's like normal is the very start. We're gonna go all the way left because we can just build these 3 bombs right away since it's free play.
Do you know that one forbidden strat that's room 1 out of bounds?
Yes, I do. It is possible in this category. It is barely faster, because you don't have to actually shoot any of the tentacles or whatever.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, we're gonna move them up a floor by pushing the turnstile, and then now that we are able to get up, we can do a skip to skip the 2nd floor. Yeah, there's just no collision in the roof here, so you can just triple jump up.
Get to the end transition here. There you go. Ooh, we're taking a different route here.
Yep. So this is another trigger that we were going to do. This one is a bit more precise. It has like a specific setup, so I'm going to pause buffer it. Here we go,
Nice, first try.
Then this boss fight, Marty's also really broken because he can just shoot the Kraken. Normally you have to pick up the various food items and life vests that he's throwing at you. But in this category you don't. We have to
Fortunately,
do
Yeah, you
two
still have to
torches
do
here.
these TNT things. Unfortunately, the Marty shots cannot skip these.
Yeah, this is a very scripted boss fight. Can't be much faster.
Is this one of the only auto-scrollers in the run, per se?
Yeah. Other than like the one in the previous level with the wheel.
Yeah. Because you skip the biggest auto-scroller in Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, you do.
That one's at the very last level of this run. There we go.
Yeah, that's movie 2 done. Now we're on to movie 3, which is probably the hardest one in my opinion, but it also has a bunch of really short levels. For example, this one, Singapore, is super short because of the room 1 skip that we can do. Yeah, we're just gonna go over here. There's a zip line that we're supposed to grab onto from the far left, but we can do a triple jump to get up there early. And then the reason we picked Davy Jones instead of another character that can triple jump like Barbosa with his slam attack is because he can swim in the water, and that allows us to do a triple jump from inside of the water. Yeah, we're just gonna do triple jump over that gate, another triple jump across here, and the end of the level is right over there by the ship, which we can just shoot with Marty. And that's the level.
Quick and easy.
The next one is kind of a longer one.
1P2C, baby.
Yeah, it's a really 1P2C heavy level. Basically, we need to, you can see that there's 15 or so characters in the character wheel, which is because of the crazy amount of characters that we're going to need to save in this level. But yeah, we can do the start by just, we have to fix a ship right here, and I'm going to do that really quickly.
Drop out for the CPS.
Yeah, this CPS is like super delayed on when it shows up. Yeah, that's room 1, basically. You might have seen I was switching quite a bit through my roster in order to get to Marty, because there's, as I said before, 15 characters in the wheel.
That's crazy that they put so many characters in this level for the free play wheel.
Yeah. Well, we're just waiting for this turnstile to go down, and then the next room is really 1P2C heavy.
Now this is another one of those ship levels where there are multiple stories to it. And each one has a character or several characters that need to be rescued. We've got a whole bunch and I can't name half of them, I don't think. Well, there's Tattoo Pirate, I know that guy. Each one of them needs to be woken up for whatever reason they got stumbled upon and they are in dire need. But this is one of my favorite levels because of all the 1P2C and there's a lot of micro strats. I like doing micro optimizations in order to further progress the level. And also this level doesn't really have any RNG in it too. Sometimes in this game you can get some micro RNG, just like small stuff that can add up over time, like animation cycles or something like that. But this one is really clean. You can do the same thing every single time and it will work. So we got Cotton here. Just once we destroy the silver object that he's stuck on, then we can rock the ship back and forth to get out of Davy Jones's locker.
Yeah, this is a little weird because sometimes you're just rocking in the wrong direction and it doesn't end the level for a really long time. But yeah, the next couple levels are really short as well. for example, this one's short, but the next one is actually, I think it's no, it's not the longest, but it's one of the longer levels in story, but it has a really massive skip. You can actually go in here through a free play route. And then the entire point of this level in story is to get a strength character, so you can pull this. But since we have strength characters in our roster already, we can just go to the last room right away. This platforming is a little bit tricky, especially with the things dropping.
Oh, you got saved there.
Yeah. We're gonna spin this wheel just because it's really annoying to do with it. Oh, yeah. Fall rescue is really coming in clutch with the amount of times I'm falling down. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stuck on the side of that object.
This can be a very tight jump. You gotta go. It's not as lenient as maybe like in TCS DB3, or I should say it's more lenient, but it's also you got like you kept on getting bumped by the object that you're supposed to destroy in order to finish the level, but we don't need to destroy it.
Yep. Now we only have 2 more levels left in episode 3. The next one, Brethren Court, it's supposed to be a super long level where you kind of like become friends with all the pirate kings, and then you have to get them to go to the top to open a door. But since we have free play tech like wall climbing and triple jumping, we don't need to do that. So we're just gonna go all the way to the top right at the start.
Yeah, but first we have to please this single pirate king.
Yeah, you need, to get to the top, there's this elevator, and you need to please at least one of them. This guy's the closest one and also the quickest one. You might wonder why I didn't do a CPS there so I can get in the elevator early. You actually can do that, but it soft locks you. You get stuck under the elevator, so you can't. That's not a viable strategy. But now that we're at the top, what we can do is just do a wall climb to get all the way up this wall. The collision is a little bit weird, but that's the door we need to open, and we can just triple jump over it and then hit the transition.
Nice. Yeah, those dog wall climbs are, in my opinion, a lot harder than they look. Like, it's
yeah, they're definitely tough.
It's really a movement kind of style based. It's a feel, almost a muscle memory kind of thing.
Yeah, what you might have seen there is I picked up the box with one player and I was waiting by the door with the other. So as soon as I picked up the box, I didn't have to open any doors. I can just go through the transition and he warps. So minor stuff like that saves quite a bit of time actually. And this next level is also pretty 1P2C heavy, especially the first room.
Yeah, we all have these items. Everyone wants their items. They lost them, unfortunately, because Rigetti kicked the bucket, and they're all scattered about the ship. So we have to go gather them all back up together in order to release the Dahlia of her curse, and she explodes into crabs at the end. But this 1P2C is super duper hard. There's so much going on, and a lot of camera pan skips as well to fluster you. It's going to be a double?
I don't know why that one didn't skip the camera pan.
I think because you have to drop both the items on the same frame, and then you can get a double camera pan skip on these. But it's the same frame, so it's difficult.
Yeah, I don't need a CPS for this one because I'm waiting over here with P1 to get that. I don't think I did this route actually properly. I wanted to get the umbrella earlier. But yep, now that we have the eyeball, we can overlap these camera pans again, and that's the end of the room.
The second one will play right after, but it doesn't matter because the trigger with the Dahlia exploding is what causes the final, this is not the final one, this is the second to last.
So there's 3 like cell door kind of things that we need to blow up. I don't think I actually hit that one.
No, it's not exploded.
I don't know why. Usually you can hit this one without clicking anything. There we go. And then instead of building the middle cannon, I'm actually going to hit both of them with this one. Because if you go all the way to the left, you can barely hit it.
Yeah, it kind of like drifts. So if you swing to the left, it drifts over to the left, and you're able to just barely reach it. Also, shoutouts to having the Torch, which is, for some reason allows you to two-shot a lot of enemies. And it also avoids a sword duel animation or needing to jump slash in order to damage characters. And here we have the final boss fight of movie 3 against Davy Jones. He does a lot of parkour and then he runs away after he misses you 3 times.
Yep, I'm just jump slashing at every for every hit on the boss because it instantly hits him instead of going into like a dual animation. Kind of getting stuck here, but it's all good.
Yeah, also killing all these enemies just to make sure they don't get in the way. And meanwhile, player 1 is fighting. Player 2 is trying to get ready to the next spot that Davy Jones is supposed to be. Here we go at the end.
And that is episode 3.
Awesome.
Now we just have the last movie. The last movie is kind of unique in a way because it actually has a surprising amount of end triggers. It has, I believe, 4 out of the 5 levels use an end trigger to finish the level.
Wow, that's crazy.
So this first level, London Town, we're just going to do a quick triple jump to get up to the balcony over here where the next room is.
This is also really good pace too.
Yeah, other than the crashes, alright.
Yeah.
But you need to break this cannon. And we can go here. There's actually a new wall climb that I found yesterday that I can do in the next room. I haven't seen anyone else do this one, and it saves a couple seconds, I think, if you do it all right. Like that, probably. Oh,
Fall rescue? Give you a little extra height.
there we go.
Nice. Yeah, that room is much longer in the story. So with that wall climb and the triple jump, that saves a lot of time. You get a fast cycle too here.
Yeah, this cycle is actually the one that I'm doing right now is actually possible to make in story, but it's so much more difficult. In free play, you can just triple jump to get over here, and then Marty's gonna warp, which is good for me because I can break these targets with his gun.
Get both of them in one shot. That just shows the range of the Marty explosion.
And then we're gonna do an end trigger here. We have to hit her once to open the door. We're gonna do a wall climb to get out of bounds here.
Got an end trigger to hit.
There we go.
Nice.
That one is a little weird because the camera's different most of the time, but got it first try. The next level is another one that's inside of a ship, but this also has a very, very different route to the one in story because we have Blackbeard, and we haven't used Blackbeard at all, like this run yet, but he has the specific ability of being able to use his special on these red doors and open them. So this is an intended free play like room, but it's also just much faster than getting up in story.
Yeah, the purpose of this game to having a free play roam is that you can come back into the level and collect all the collectibles that you normally couldn't collect with story characters. But it also means that we have more opportunities for glitches. As you can see, there have been a lot of glitches, a lot of skips.
I'm gonna do another CPS here, this time dropping out player 1.
Is this next room that's kind of same?
No, it is not. I'm gonna do swap to set up my characters for the next level right at the start, because I'm gonna end the level with Marty. But I'm gonna do a triple jump, and I'm switching to Blackbeard so I can actually bypass that like red magic, and I can just triple jump here and shoot him from down below. And shooting that and freeing him ends level.
All right, 3 levels to go for the end of this run.
The next level is actually the second shortest in the game, because similar to Tortuga, the second level we played, it has an end trigger that just skips the entire level in the first room. This one, I would say it's a little bit more difficult than the other one. We're just going to climb up here, and then this doorway transition doesn't extend all the way, so we can jump out of bounds, and since we're stuck inside of the wall, we can infinitely jump up. And now that I'm up here, I can hold D-pad up left. Unfortunately, I made a mistake, and I launched 1 billion units in the air. If you, for some reason in this out of bounds water section, if you have a character that, can swim and like dive underwater, you just get launched in the air.
If you didn't restart the level, how long do you think it would have taken for you to fall back down to the ground?
Probably like an hour, like unironically. We'll try that again. Okay. Let's avoid doing that.
This is a very precise setup because you're navigating on this partial out of bounds collision. Like there are gaps in between where laser is jumping from. And if you fall through those gaps, then you have to restart the entire setup again.
There we go.
Nice.
You have to space that last jump pretty well. But yeah, that trigger is also possible in story. I would probably say it's the most difficult trick in the run. I feel like that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that one.
Yep.
Now we're on the Spanish Legacy.
Second last level of the run. This one is probably one of the most difficult in free play, just because it has a couple of difficult triple jumps and a couple of difficult wall climbs, and then also an end trigger at the end that's not the easiest. I'm going to do a buffered CPS here by splitting the camera. I can drop in for that one.
Yeah, some camera pans, instead of slowly panning to what you're going to do, and you can call in during that slow pan, it just instantly swaps to whatever the camera wants to look at. So by splitting the camera up so that there's a black bar in between, and then dropping out a few seconds before the camera pan is about to start, you can do a buffered CPS. And this allows you to spam call in or call in once, and then you're able to skip this. Are you getting the piano?
Yep. So this is actually a mini kit that you can get, but it also has some awesome tunes. Jack might be the best piano player I've ever heard. Yeah, we can listen to that during this telescope, or I guess it's a telescope, yeah. yeah, once this is done, we're just gonna do a couple of triple jumps in the next room to skip a ton. And then probably the hardest wall climb in the game.
This is also an area that you don't normally see in the story. Going all the way up in the top left area. Honestly, I didn't even know this room existed until I watched a free play run. Oh, it's part of this room. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can just skip like the entire right part of the room. And then I have to catch the wall climb after the triple jump on this invisible wall. And it's really weird.
And you can't fall in this water because then you won't be able to jump out of it. It's like a kind of death plane, but it's a slow death plane.
There we go, okay. That one is really weird, but I managed to hit it without dying. And then we have another wall climb to get on top of some out of bounds collision. And then we're gonna hit the trigger with that setup. That trigger is another one that's, I think that's one of the ones that's possible in story. It's just, it requires you to get a launch and then land out of bounds, which is, you need a really good computer in order to get a launch like that, because launches are FPS dependent. So it's not done in runs, but there's another way to skip that boss fight in story.
Yeah, this is the last level of the run, so time will be coming up at the end of this level, which is only in a few minutes or so. Hopefully.
Yeah, we have to do this room like mostly casual. You can speed up the compass by pushing him. One of the ways you can do that in free play is the dog has like a slightly larger hitbox, so you're like propelling him forwards a bit.
Yeah, we're going to be looking through a telescope and looking at this water. And it's important not to look away from the water, because if he looks away from the water for too long, then the water completely resets.
Yeah, so I have to fully focus for this. Hardest part of the run.
We're also doing a CPS here as well.
Yep, so as soon as the telescope section ends, I'm going to drop out right away. And the thing about CPS, or like buffered CPS like that, you can't move during the animation, but you can still like do actions like switching and jumping.
Yeah, we're also in this portion of the level, we're navigating the water toward the end of here in order to discover the Fountain of Youth, which is the name of this level.
And then I'm gonna wait to do this.
Doing the shuttle? Nice, yeah. Oh, he even warps over there.
Yeah, that's a warp you get in free play.
So normally during that like split seconds of CPS, you're locked out of your movement, but you're not locked out of your special abilities. So he can swap to the dog in order to dig during the camera pan flicker that's happening. Here we have a left and a right thing. Are you just doing a right thing?
Oh, I think the controller unplugged or something.
Maybe Alt-Tab back in?
It just started moving.
You're on keyboard right now, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what was up with that.
Strange controller glitch, I suppose.
Yeah, this room, you have to push 2 statues into place, one of them being all the way over here, and you have to move it over. So this is another like 1P2C heavy section. I'm just going to be doing some simple tasks like pushing boxes, and then another CPS here. This one you don't want to spam, because if player 2 gets warped, if you spam during like a buffered CPS like that, player 2 gets warped, and I want to be able to complete this section. I think I should be good now. I didn't properly count. I usually use a timer to see when that's done.
Yeah. This is one where you can overlap the camera pans. So there are one camera pan for each time you push the statue into place, but by doing them both at the same time, then you are able to skip both of them at the same time rather than doing two camera pans.
But yeah, time's coming
Separate
up.
ones.
We're entering the last room, and there is another out of bounds trigger that we're gonna hit.
How difficult is this wall climb?
The wall climb isn't difficult, but you're doing it completely blind, as you might see in a second. To do a wall climb over here. And then once I get over, I'm gonna try and fall back. Okay, I didn't go all the way over. Or I went too far over. Okay, there. And now we're gonna, I think I'm good. We're gonna try and jump up the wall. Oh, I came back in. And then if he hits you here, you start moving backwards, which is an annoying part of the room. But yeah, once I get over, I'm gonna turn back in a little bit. Okay.
Trying to hit this end trigger.
Oh, wait, what? Okay. There we go. Time.
Nice.
Yeah. That.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Flaming Laser, for that run. GG's. You did really well. He really popped off. Stay tuned next time, or the next run coming up. We got Lego City Undercover by Costellar Athid. So stick around.